must be met before you enter into Salah. And we mentioned five. And the fifth one that was mentioned was istiqbalul qibla, that you need to secure your qibla, you need to be facing qibla as a prerequisite, as a shart, a condition to enter into your salah. And then I said last week that this week, inshallah, I'm going to mention the ahwal or the conditions or the circumstances when you are not required to face the qibla. Subhanallah. And there are two. There are two instances in which you don't have to face the qibla and your salah would still be accepted. So the author indicates وَيَجُوزُ تَرْكُ الْقِبْلَةِ, it is permissible to leave off the qibla في حالتين, in two conditions. في شدة الخوف, that is the first condition, which means in an instance of intense fear. And the author bases this on the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in which Allah says, فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ فَرِجَالًا أَوْ رُكْبَانًا. And if you are in a state of intense fear, then you may perform your salah, rijalan, standing using your legs, أو رُكْبَانًا, or upon your mount, upon the animal, in your means of transport. And then Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, he says and adds on, مستقبل القبلة أو غير مستقبلها. And this he heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as reported in Bukhari. He says, doing this, facing the qibla or not. So if a person has intense fear, and how would we describe that intense fear? Min qitalin wa ghayrihi. If you fear for your life. So if it is hypothetically a fard salah, but you fear for your life for whatever reason. Now, there's a difference between a fear of a mosquito and a fear of someone killing you, right? So the former is a minor fear. Your life is not at stake. But a severe form, where your life is at stake, of course, then you won't be required to secure the qibla. Then the second hal, the second condition or instance, وَفِي النَّافِلَةِ فِي السَّفَرِ عَلَى الرَّاحِلِ. Now this is a very important one, because there's a miscommunication or misnomer here, misunderstanding. The author says you won't be required to be in the direction of qibla if you are performing a nafil salah, a sunnah salah, whilst on travel and whilst you are in your means of traveling. In other words, if you are, on a horse, that is classically your camel. But in today's time, I think if you are in your vehicle, in the plane in particular. So there's a misunderstanding here. Many people, have said if you are on a plane, the plane is always changing direction, so you can just sit in your seat and, tafaddal for a fard salah. So that is a misunderstanding. You are required when you are on a plane for a fard salah, to determine to the best of your ability the direction of your qibla. So, mashallah, the flights today, the technology is very advanced. I think on nearly every international flight, you have these little screens and you can change the option and they'll tell you the direction of the plane. It is beautiful for a Muslim, because then you'll know perfectly what direction the plane is going, and you'll be able to determine your qibla and then perform your salah, of course, accordingly for fard. But the author says for nafila, for your sunnah salah, you are not required, as long as you are in your means of transport. So for example, if you're on a bus, and the bus is also changing direction the entire time, for your sunnah salah, you can sit, alhamdulillah, in your position, in your seat comfortably and not worry about that. But for fard salah, it would be best, and it is a requirement that, of course, you still, to your best ability, determine your qibla. And my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, that is the two conditions or two instances when the qibla does not have to be secured. وصلى الله وسلم عليه والحمد لله رب العالمين.